Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Julie. Welcome to another podcast. And we're focused today again on self-identity and what it takes to keep us moving forward, even when we get a little discouraged with both how we think about ourselves as well as kind of looking for that objective evidence when we're trying to make changes. When I say objective evidence, I'm thinking about sometimes how important it is for us to see evidence of progress that we're making. And so today I want to help you continue to develop a healthy mindset, a mindset of someone who's determined, strong, and is achieving the goals that you put out in the world for yourself. If we are going to make consistent progress toward our physical health goals, we need to notice the ways that a positive, optimistic, healthy mindset and self-concept really helps us. When we're in those early stages of making changes to our health habits, it often helps if we have others around us reinforcing our choices and praising our improvements. How great does it feel to have worked hard in the gym for 3 days straight, pushing yourself to be consistent, and then to have someone remark about how great you look? Or to have someone who hasn't seen you in a little bit ask you, are you doing something different? It looks like you've lost some weight. All of that feels awesome, right? We get that little hit of dopamine in our brain as a reward when that positive reinforcement for our efforts occurs. It feels wonderful. But it's often rare to get that feedback or that positive reinforcement from the outside world so early in our health journey. We often are working really hard to be healthy eaters or to be more consistent with our exercise or to change habits around our health. And at the same time that you're realizing how important it is to be working on changing those behaviors, you're also hopefully starting to work really hard on that internal self-talk that you're engaging in. So as you work on your weight or your appearance goals, you're also likely trying to see yourself as someone who can be more disciplined, more consistent, to see yourself as someone who follows through, who prioritizes training and exercising more regularly than you used to. Sometimes with physical health changes, it can take a while to notice those differences to our physical appearance or to weight. So continuing to make choices in our day hour after hour that are healthy choices with eating or with following through with getting to the gym, it can be hard to make those choices hour after hour when we don't get immediate results. And from a psychological perspective, it can be incredibly frustrating to feel like the outside world doesn't see the hard work that you're doing. They don't always see the changes that you're making to strengthen and improve your physical and emotional health. So while our spouses, our friends, our support circle may have the best of intentions, they don't always notice when it would be great for us to have that little boost of reinforcement, that praise. They don't always see the changes that we're working very hard to make. Maybe they haven't noticed that the scale is down 2 pounds, or that we've reduced inches in a particular area of the body, or that we're more toned or muscular in a particular area. It can be hard when we're not getting that external praise, that positive reinforcement to really keep us feeling like all of this self-discipline and effort is really paying off. So it can even be difficult. Maybe someone does notice in our life. And I think what I've found clients over the years struggling with even more is maybe they are getting some initial praise from a partner, a friend, a loved one, but they also sense that that other person doesn't necessarily believe that they're going to stick with it, to stick with those behavioral changes because of patterns that have happened before where they do it for a few weeks and then they kind of fall off. And so this can be even more discouraging if you're picking up on those undertones from people that they maybe are giving you some kind of shallow praise, but don't necessarily believe that you're all in this time and that you're really doing things differently to make more lasting change. So how do we not lose motivation? How do we not lose motivation when we don't see immediate huge changes in our appearance? Or how do we not lose motivation when we don't have the benefit of others around us that are really recognizing the tough choices we're making hour after hour, day after day to live differently? They might not be recognizing how we are prioritizing our health in new ways. So today we want to think about that while it's great to have the outside world noticing our improvements and praising us, if we get down to it, it's not necessary. And we can actually learn to be really self-reliant in this area. It can be great. It can be a great boost to have that, but that's something added. It's not something that is necessary to have that. We can create a powerful mindset that gives us the positive reinforcement we're needing to keep going, to add another day of workouts, to add another meal of healthy eating in our success column. So for the next few minutes, I want to suggest a few different strategies that I've seen be helpful to clients over the years to help manage this challenge of not always feeling like we're seeing the progress at the speed or the rate that we want. And sometimes mindset-wise, that can create a little bit of a barrier for us. So we want to offer some strategies that can help manage this. We want to focus on strengthening your mindset. And in doing that, we want to strengthen the mind to be able to look for its own evidence of change. What I mean by that is it's a beautiful thing to realize that our mind is always keeping track of how hard we're working. It notices when we pushed ourselves to do something today that's different than how we usually do it. It notices when we care for our body differently. So today I want to suggest that we start focusing on proving to yourself that you're moving toward a new identity, proving to yourself that the behaviors are changing that you're engaging in. This can be incredibly powerful. So how are you going to prove this to yourself? One of the things we know is that when we can provide ourselves some very concrete evidence that we can see of change, that it's incredibly reinforcing. That's why it's great to be able to step on a scale and notice that concrete evidence of pounds having dropped, or measure inches in a certain area and notice that your inches have decreased. But that's not the kind of concrete evidence that I'm talking about, because we know that that can be hard to come by in the very early stages of our physical health changes. And so what do I mean by concrete evidence in this sense? So I want you to consider this week adopting or strengthening some way of tracking what you're doing that's different with your behavior. So maybe it's using a particular app. Maybe it's making notes on your phone in that app. Maybe it's writing in your calendar. Or maybe it's a good old-fashioned piece of paper where you're writing down and tracking your health behaviors. This could be anything from writing down water consumption to goals around certain types of food intake for the day, your exercise follow-through, training goals, other self-care goals or sleep goals, anything like that. When we can write them down or get them on a screen in front of us, this can be the concrete evidence that we need to get that little boost of dopamine, that little pat on the back for ourselves. And it's actual evidence to show ourselves that, look at who I am. I am capable of making these changes because it's right here in front of me that, in fact, I have done so today. Research in psychology has shown that tracking behaviors is one of the best ways to more quickly change behaviors and to make those changes last. For example, research has shown huge health benefits when they compare in studies groups of people that have written down what they've eaten, who have tracked their exercise, compared to groups in that same study that don't track or write down their behaviors. The group in these studies who tracks and has a diary of their behaviors across studies consistently comes out looking significantly better at achieving their health goals compared to the group who does not write down or track any of their day-to-day, hour-to-hour accomplishments and changes. So there are a lot of reasons why this simple behavior change of creating some concrete evidence to yourself to motivate yourself to keep going, why that really helps us with our health goals. Psychologically, it makes a lot of sense. We as humans, we need to see progress. We need to see evidence of change. And so seeing the behaviors that we have changed, seeing what we are doing in black and white on a screen, on a piece of paper, can be a powerful reminder day after day of the effort and the success that you're putting forth. Seeing it in front of you day after day reinforces part of the new identity that you're trying to create for yourself. It helps strengthen your positive I am statements to yourself. It allows you to read what you've done an hour ago, 10 minutes ago, yesterday, last week, and say, look at this. I am healthy. I follow through. I exercise regularly. I'm capable of making change. And you know this because you can see the behavior changes right in front of you. I would love for you to make this addition to your week, to see what it means for you to track the behaviors that you're working so hard to do as part of your health changes. Wishing you all growth and deeper understanding of yourself this week.